This is just out of the shower. Um, if you follow my tweets, I again don't feel well. So I just wanted to hop on real quick. My lips are so dry. I do apologize. Um, and just run go over a couple of things that are on my mind. It's not going to be long. It's not going to be drama. It's just going to be real. Um, I did a video not long ago talking about what today is and what it means to me. Unfortunately, because I got sick in the night, I was not able to participate um, and placed my dad's wreath. I cannot say that word to save my life. So my friend Kim did for me, and needless to say, we appreciate her a whole lot. This is the second year. Last year I woke up with a horrible migraine and couldn't get there. This year we made other arrangements, and my husband was even off, and he was going to drive, and I was up in the night. I went to bed early. I went to bed early, so that I could do this. Um, I just wanted to. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but we'll give it a shot. Over 6,500 veterans are buried in this cemetery, and during the course of placing wreaths, let's see if I can get this where you can see it. Well, that didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. I don't know if you can. There you go. Someone, this is at the very entrance of the cemetery, someone could not, the way this cemetery is built, you go in one side, you come out the other. It's kind of, if you've been around anything military, you know there's an entrance and an exit. Um, I'll give you a different picture. Someone chose, I pray to God this was a medical emergency or something to that effect. Someone chose to drive through the literal very front entrance to, for lack of a better way of putting it, to keep from having to go through the process of the traffic. Um, Now, when I say that, yeah, I'll tell you, there is a ton of traffic in for this for this. I mean, people come to place graves for 6,500 plus veterans. I'm just trying to show you another couple of, and just some this is just part of an area of the cemetery. This is not even where my dad is buried. Um, this is where urns are, where they placed them for the in the columbariums. That's another word I can't pronounce. Um, this is part of the cemetery, part of the service where each branch of the military is honored. Um, it's a big deal when we do this. It's a sad thing. I'm trying to find more pictures. I'm thankful that Chuck posted these. Chuck Heater is the man that is over the cemetery where my father is, and he's just an amazing people. This is how great these people are. People got together. This gentleman right here, his daughter, um, was too far away and she couldn't make it, so volunteers placed flags on, or placed the wreath and took a picture and sent it, made and posted it so she would see it. Um, right here, this is the bells that, and they came up with a different plan. You can see rows and rows of graves. They came up with a different plan this year, which worked amazingly well. Um, different tools of the bells for family members to place. And you can see, I'm not trying to dox anybody. I'm not trying to get into anybody's business. Um, but, you know, there are several, because people took the time to, and again, show you a better picture of the bells. Um, and I know this is just kind of a, I don't know, I don't have anything this type view of where Daddy, on the part of the cemetery where Daddy is. Um, well, actually, that's not true. Just noticed this picture, I believe, is at the front of the cemetery. I believe this is at the front, where, in the area close to where my dad is. I'm not certain. But again, I'm not going to take a whole lot of time. I just wanted to um, say thank you to the people that showed up today. Um, if you're close to a military cemetery, get involved, because sometimes there are veterans that don't have families. There will be one buried Monday at 12:30 with no known family, Navy veteran, where my dad's buried. I'm 2 hours away, so it's not really something I can really do. But this is just, you know, so many people came together to make this happen today, to make wreaths happen, and for somebody to literally disrespect over 6,500 veterans, people that laid down their lives for me and you, plus their families, to do this while the cemetery was going on, while the ceremony was going on, while this was happening. Hi, Mama Beth. I'm just I told the friend of mine that placed Dad's wreath for me that it worked out. It was probably best that I wasn't there, because she actually seen the person that did this get stuck. I mean, obviously, we were told in advance to wear boots. We were told to, be prepared, because it rained very heavily yesterday. So, we were told the cemetery is going to be a mess. Be prepared. They did the crew, the team that works here. I can't even get words out. I'm sorry, guys. The groundskeepers work so hard to keep this cemetery in tip-top, pristine shape, despite weather, despite, I've seen the honor guard that did my dad's committal service, and that does most of the committals there. I've seen them stand with the storm coming and do the volley, do taps, salute these veterans. They came from Louisville an hour away when I buried the veteran that I served as legal guardian for. They came solely for him. There was nobody there but me, Chuck Heater, which is the cemetery director, and Honor Guard 1170. We got people that will do this, and then we have somebody that during something as precious and special as today was, that will do this. I'm sorry, there's a glare from my overhead light. This is the very entrance to the cemetery. This is what you see when you go into the cemetery. I have to tell you that it worked out to be a blessing, because I don't believe, and by the way, thank you Mama Beth, and thank you Steve, I don't know who else came in, that I wasn't there, because I'm just going to tell you, I'd have probably caught a charge. That's just, I'd have lost my mind. That the military protocol never leaves you. There are cars. This cemetery is a great big circle. You go in one way and circle around and come back out. The back part was open. Cars are parked down the main road that leads on into Fort Knox. You know, you get there as early as you can. You know you're going to be there for a while. It's a ceremony. It's honoring. This is Teach, Honor, Respect Day. We go through the cemetery, which I'm only able to stand long enough now to place Dad's wreath and Les's at best. But it's just unbelievable. You know, you already know because of the rains yesterday. We were told earlier in the week, you know, it was posted out to all of the families, the cemetery grounds are going to be very, very wet, very soft, wear boots, be prepared, yada yada. You know, but to do this is just, I am hoping and praying, and even the cemetery director put in his post that we're just we're not hoping, but maybe there was a medical emergency, and maybe it was a situation where they, you know, there was no other choice for them to do what they had to do, because right when you go into the cemetery, because they closed the cemetery gates, right as you go into the cemetery, it circles back around the sign and back the other way. So there's so many different ways that this could have been done and could have been done better. And to be real honest with you, people do this in such an organized fashion that there's just no, unless there was an emergency, there's just no excusing this behavior. So I had to hop on, and I guess it's supposed to be thoughts, but it's turned into some kind of a rant. This hurts my heart. We insulted World War One soldiers, Vietnam veterans, Desert Storm, Gulf War. We insulted over 6,500 people. Hold on just a second. I just got another picture, which is probably, oh, how sweet. This is one of the gentlemen and I became friends that did my dad's honors, and he just sent me a picture of my dad's grave. Um, that kind of makes it a little better. Um, he, because I live so far away, and he's there so often, periodically, he'll just send me a picture of Dad's grave so I know, or he'll tell me this is going on. Um, you might need to come, you know, plan a trip or talk to Chuck and see, you know, get this fixed. We became friends because they did such a fabulous job with my dad's honors. Um, and that just kind of made everything all better. um, but anyway, I want to wish you all, I don't know that I'll make any other videos before Christmas. My health has not been cooperating. I don't know what has got a hold of me. We've had probably 4 different viruses come through my household. Um, I have about probably, let me say this embarrassedly, probably 10 pallets that I haven't tried. Um, I didn't even unbox last month's um, BoxyCharm. This month's BoxyCharm, I'm just gonna, no, I'll do that in another video. But I just wanted to hop on and address this with you guys because I just needed to, I just, having to share these photos um, on Facebook and having to address this issue as the daughter of a veteran, you know, and one day where my dad, exactly where my dad's buried, when my mother passes away, she'll be buried on top of him, and at some point my husband and I will be buried in this cemetery. So seeing somebody disrespect this is just almost more than this little girl can stand. Or I can't say little girl because I'm so not little. Um, I can honestly tell you that I'd have probably caught a charge. There, I'd probably been sitting either in Fort Knox or in jail in Radcliffe, Kentucky. That's I think I'd have hurt somebody because that's just you just this is just stuff you just don't. There's no need to do this for people. To people to disrespect. You know, these people evidently came for the ceremony, so you know why. I hope we've made plans that from here on in, I'm just going to go. I'm not going to try to do a turnaround trip anymore because they don't work for me anymore. I'm going to start booking a room at a hotel in Radcliffe. It's my hometown. It's where I grew up. And you hear me say that about Radcliffe, and you hear me say that about southeastern Kentucky. I'm not lying. There's not two of me. I grew up in both areas. Um, yeah, I have to tell you, because the right around the corner, not far from that cemetery, is where I grew up. So people know me there, and for me to make the news there would have not been a good thing. Um, but anyway, just wanted to hop on and share, you know, that today didn't work out like I had planned for it to. We did get up at 4, or wake up at 4. It just didn't work for us to get to go. Um, However, if some of you caught what we were talking about, I think it was me and you, Mama Beth, that were talking about what we asked for Christmas. My pretty little Walther PK380 is on its way to Mama. My husband's gone to go pick it up from Rural King. I'm a happy woman. He thinks that's going to be his carry. Anyway, so, but it kind of end that on a better note. But y'all remember, next year, I'm just going to ask those of you that um, um, know me. Next year, I'm going to do this a little bit earlier. If you know me, if you support me, if you, anything like that, when it comes time that we start talking about Wreaths Across America, help me out. My dad's cemetery is not the only cemetery that we do this at. This is done all across the United States, and I think it's going into other countries now. They do it at Arlington. They do it at every veteran cemetery. So if you have time, whenever I start tweeting about it, or whenever I start to do the video about it, and start, you know, it starts getting to crunch, the wreaths are $15 a piece. If you can't afford one, help us promote it. Help us get all these veterans their holiday wreaths. Because as you seen earlier when I showed the pictures of the cemetery, um, it's beautiful, and they encourage us. Some people still went ahead and put the flowers on. They like the deer photo op um, after we lay everything, and then the families can put flowers. But and at some point, my aunt will probably put some poinsettias on Dad's grave. Um, but think about it next year. I'm not going to pull punches on this. I talked about this a good deal on Twitter, and I saw nobody that I support say anything supporting wreaths across America. And my dad's not the only veteran. He's my veteran. He's my dad, and he's my hero. Um, but he's not the only veteran that ever served, and I'm well aware of that. So I ask that um, in times to come, things like Memorial Day, things like Veterans Day when we place the flags, and especially wreaths across America. Please help me get this word out to people, because even if you can't be there, there's always a team of volunteers that put this together. This is not something um, that the cemetery itself does. This is not funded by the cemetery. This is funded by volunteers. So next year, help me out. Okay? I'm not mad at anyone. Um, just sharing my thoughts. And I appreciate y'all coming by to listen to me be kind of emotional and sad. Um, I can't for the life of me. Um, the ground in front of the cemetery looks worse than where we ride up in the mountains at this point. Um, and it's just, this is right outside Fort Knox. I mean, literally, it is right outside Fort Knox, which is of course, the military installation that I was born on, and it just baffles my mind. Um, it just blows my mind. I was going to go live from the cemetery. Um, I did a Facebook Live the first year that we did this, and it was total chaos and impossible to do. Um, Maybe next year we'll be able to do a little bit of vlogging, since at least I'm going to go and rent a hotel, and so that I can be there for the year, for the ceremony. Because sick or not, if I'd had a hotel room close, I could have stayed and been okay, and rested, even if it had been another night, and come home. But that's for next year. And I'm rambling because ADHD is kicking in. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Y'all have a wonderful day. I really appreciate you stopping by. Be kind to each other, not just during the holiday season, but every day, because life is short. Um, and yeah, it's too short to not be nice to each other. So if I don't see you again on here, Merry Christmas, and love you too. Um, Possibly we'll be on before New Year's. I don't know. Most of my Christmas shopping is done. I think the main person that I have to get something for is Ian, and that's just going to be a huge box, because I am the Grammy that does that kind of mess. Um, he's spoiled, but he's allowed to be. So anyway, thank you all for coming by. I'm rambling, and I need to hush and get some other things done. So have a wonderful day. Remember, I am the mayor's daughter. I love you all oh so very much. See you. Bye.